Yeah, we are laying up good stuff. Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Backdraft and welcome to another episode on the Symmetria server. This is episode number 23. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, off camera, since last episode, we of course have done a couple AFK sessions at the raid farm. And let me show you guys what we ended up with. There is so many totems. All of this extra loot. We also got a little bit of extra redstone, and of course, last but not least, almost a full shulker box of emeralds. That is totally awesome. And the best part about all this only took about 45 minutes. 45 minutes. That is a lot of loot for just 45 minutes. So the plan now is to take this loot, the totems and the emeralds, and sell them at Minever in the shopping district. And since it will be super easy for us to renew these resources, we're going to sell each of these for just one diamond per stack of emeralds and one diamond per stack of emeralds and one diamond for a totem. I'm pretty sure these are going to sell out super fast. There is one last thing we have to add to this farm that I forgot to mention at the end of last episode, and that is we need to add the villagers that are going to toss gifts at us once we get Hero of the Village. So there are supposed to be villagers right in this little spot right here, and I've been mulling over all the different types of villagers that we can get, and I think we're going to get something like 7 of the different types of villagers. Some of them don't have items that are really worth it for us to have the trouble of moving them over here, but eventually we're going to be able to get books and redstone and clay and all kinds of awesome goodies from the Hero of the Village perk. And since we need a ton more villagers, we need a functional villager breeder. So one day I came over here and noticed that the farmer villager was once again able to make it into a bed, which completely broke the villager breeder. So in a live stream, I actually converted it over to a more modern design. So we have 2 villagers in here. One of them is a farmer, one of them is just a regular old villager. And essentially these 2 guys are then going to be responsible for feeding each other. The farmer obviously is going to be throwing food to the other villager, and then they will breed and make babies. And one of the mechanics with the babies is actually they like jumping on beds, so they will then shoot over here trying to get to the beds with the 2 trapdoors right here, and they will fall down into the water stream and into the villager collection area, which we have over in the trading hall. So once we get about, I think, somewhere between 15 and 20 villagers, we're going to corral them all over to the raid farm to get the Hero of the Village perks. Also in this episode, I want to fully convert this tower behind me from the dinky little mob farm that it is right now into another farm. So we have our big giant mob farm that's behind the palace right now, which means we don't really have a need for this dinky one that's behind us. I mean, it is getting us some drops, but not really that many with us just kind of roaming around the base. We're getting a few drops here and there, so it is getting us some items, but there really is no need for this anymore. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to convert it into a wool farm. I just popped over to Minever because I wanted to stock up the store with our brand new products. So these are the first products that we are selling at Minever outside of the services. We have been making quite a few diamonds from our redstone contraptions, and we have a couple other requests that we do need to get to eventually. But yeah, so we are selling totems for 1 diamond, and we are selling emeralds for 1 diamond per stack. And because these prices are so cheap, which we can afford to make them so cheap because of how quick our raid farm is, my guess is these are going to sell pretty quickly. So I'm going to keep an eye on these very often to collect our profits and make sure that we keep it stacked up. So the new stock at Minever has been sitting here for about 15 seconds, and we're already sold out of emeralds. What? Apparently somebody needed a mass amount of emeralds quick. I cannot believe we've already sold out, and we've already sold 3 totems. That is just insane. We're gonna have to restock that. So I now want to get this tower cleared out so that we can make room for the wool farm. That's going to involve getting rid of all of this storage down here, and of course lighting it up inside of the spire and getting rid of all of the redstone and the water streams and everything so that it stops spawning mobs and we can make way for the sheep. The other thing I'm gonna have to do obviously is get some sheep. I don't have any sheep right now. We are kind of close to a forest biome, so I think I could potentially find a couple and then bring them over here and start breeding them. I think we're going to have 1 sheep per color for now. I think that should be more than enough. We don't really use wool too often. If we do end up needing a lot of wool, maybe we can add a few more sheep per color, but I think this should be okay for now. But first things first, let's get this cleared out. Alrighty, the tower is now all cleared out. We have the storage area all cleared, and the upper part where the mob farm used to be is now completely emptied out. So the next thing we are going to need is some sheep. I do have the design ready to go for this farm. It does involve, like I said, I think 15 or 16 sheep, so we're probably just gonna go off into the forest that's a little ways off that way and grab a couple, bring them back, and start breeding. Hello, sheepies. Would you like to follow me to my base? I'll put you in a nice pen. I promise it won't be too bad. Come on, guys. Do we have to do this today? Can't you just, like, try and murder me tomorrow? If you hit my sheep, I swear to God. Well, these guys are bad news. God, they just keep coming. Alrighty, we've got these 2 bad boys back at the base. And we're going to periodically breed them together until we have about 15 or 16 sheep. And in the meantime, oh, look at the little baby. Okay, I'm done. In the meantime, we're going to start building up the build for this tower, the wool farm, and we have an extra special redstone project that we're going to include with this. I don't want to spoil it, but we are going to do this in a third-person time lapse. So I hope you guys enjoy, and roll that music. I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse, and here is the tower all complete. So if you didn't notice what I was doing in the time lapse down here, let me show you. Oh yeah, boy. I got an elevator, I got an elevator, I got an elevator, I got an elevator, got it. Oh god, oh god. There we go. Okay, I got an elevator. So yes, we have our own personal redstone elevator that takes us from the bottom all the way to the top. I mean, I could just rock it up here, but why would I do that when I have an awesome redstone elevator? And of course, we have the button up here, which will take us back down. But anyway, up here we have 16 sheep cells, I guess is what you could call them. So essentially, we have to load this up with a bunch of shears, and then we're probably going to set up some mine carts and bring all of the sheep from downstairs, dye them whatever specific colors. I mean, I think we have 16, so that should cover all of the colored wool that we will need, and I doubt that this thing will ever be slow in terms of the amount of wool that we're going to need at any given point during this season. So yeah, so essentially what we got going on here, just to kind of explain the redstone a little bit, is of course, if you guys don't know already, if you put shears inside of dispensers, which I have to still load these up, and there is a sheep in front of the dispenser, essentially, these shears will shear the sheep, the wool will fall off, and in this case, the wool will fall down onto the block below, and will be picked up by the hopper minecarts and loaded into the chests. So then I have to label all of the chests with their respective wool colors once we get the sheep up in here. I also have these chests back here so I can load them all up with shears. And I don't know how quickly it's going to go through shears. I don't think we should have much of a problem. I might have to fill this up maybe one more time before the season is over. Also, we have grass around each of the areas. And that is because, of course, the sheep need to eat grass in order to grow their wool back. And that's also a plus for us in terms of the redstone, because we have observers set up in front of the grass that the sheep will eat. So when they eat the grass, it will turn into dirt, which will fire off the observer, which will then fire off all of the shears. So it's kind of a cool and little unique system. This is a pretty typical wool farm. I just kind of designed this one myself. It's nothing too crazy. So now we have to get all of the sheep into place. You will be my white sheep. I got an elevator, I got an elevator, I got an elevator, I got an elevator. Come on, sing it with me. Got an elevator, I got an elevator, I got an elevator, I back elevator, 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 elevator. You will be light gray. There's an elevator. If you look inside your wool farm, you don't have to build a track to transport your sheep. And you will be black. Come along and ride on my elevator. Yibbity-bye, transport my sheepies really high. Come on. Okay, you get the point. Alrighty, there's one section of sheep in. I'm gonna go ahead and crank out the rest. So all of these bad boys are now in place. Let me show you what we're working with. So each one has their own little cubby, and there's been several shearings already. I filled up all of the chests and hoppers and dispensers with a bunch of shears, so this thing should be able to crank us out a ton of wool. So I labeled all of the chests with their appropriate wool color. Now all we have to do is just wait for the chests to fill up. Like I said, I don't really see myself using a whole double chest of wool by the end of the season, but who knows what I'll be doing, so we just might, you never know. So we might do some AFK with this farm, but for now, there is something else I want to move on to. Hope you guys enjoyed this build. So I popped over to the gaming district real quick because I heard we are having a game off. I'm not too sure exactly what's happening, but I already entered my game, so hopefully it's something good. Here are the explanations, I guess. So welcome one and all to the Game Offs 2021. We invite you all to make a new exciting game for the games district. It can be a creative redstone puzzle game, a PvP game, a boat race. The possibilities are endless. To participate, build a new exciting game, enter your game by adding a diamond with your game's name to the chest, which I already did. Make sure your game is ready to go before end of April when judging will begin. But what will we win? The winners will be best solo game, best team game, best overall game. Winners will receive a selection of goodies as a prize, including a split of diamonds used as entry. Oh my, I like that. Things to remember to put your name on the game somewhere. I've already done that, so people know where to go for problems. Remember to add a how-to guide, have that. Think about the replayability of your game. That is pretty good as well. Any questions, feel free to contact Mr. Simon or the helpers. Good luck. I'll let you guys know how this goes. I'm back over at the Raid-O-Matic because this thing needs a storage facelift. So after about an hour and a half or so of AFK, this storage system will be entirely filled up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a storage system complete with filters so that we can filter out all of the stackable items, including emeralds and redstone and glowstone and sticks and all that, and then have a few chests for all the miscellaneous items, which is like the crossbows and the totems and whatever else comes through the system. So we're going to put that storage system right along this edge of the glass right here. It's going to take a lot of chests and hoppers and redstone, but fortunately I have all of that already from my travels. So let's get to going on this. Alrighty, there's the storage system all complete. It didn't take too long, so we're gonna have to do some more AFK with this since the emeralds and the SD are selling like crazy, and I haven't checked in the last day or two, but I'm pretty sure that the totems as well are going pretty quickly. So before we do some AFK, there's one more thing that I wanted to do, and that was to try to get some of the villagers up here so that we can start to get the perks of the hero of the village farm. And so essentially we're gonna have to build a gigantic rail line all the way from over there up into this little chute right here. This is where the villagers are going to live. We have to essentially use the villagers that we have over there, give them professions, and then shoot them up here, and then let them live right there. So like I said before earlier in the episode, I did make a change to the villager breeder so that we could get more villagers, and we have a bunch stacked up over there. Now I'm just gonna see if I can get a few up here. And I mean, if I can get a few, then I can get quite a few, because the hardest part I think is going to be building the gigantic rail line. I'm not really looking forward to that, but this is what we have to do to optimize this farm. So before I AFK, I'm going to see if I can get that going. Behold the villager highway. This took way more time than I would have liked, and it looks like we have some chunk loading issues, but that's fine. So we ended up having a total of 8 villagers stacked up. I'm gonna have to do some more AFK to get the breeder going again. So I went with 4 clerics and 4 leather workers, meaning once we get hero of the village, we should be able to capitalize on redstone, lapis, and leather. I think the only other villager we're going to do is the librarian, because then we can get books as well, and the mason so that we can get clay. So yeah, so there is only one thing left to do, well, besides deconstruct the highway, which I don't really feel like doing right now. We have to do some more AFK with this bad boy and see what kind of loot we get at this point. We have to restock that shop, and of course we have to fill up the storage system. But anyway, ladies and gents, that is all the time I have for this episode. If you'd like to, please do not hesitate to hit that thumbs up. And if you're looking forward to future episodes on the Symmetria server, then hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. I will see you guys again. Take care. Bye-bye.